All right, hello and welcome everyone to this episode or series of the Business Accelerator, series number 14. I conduct these series very often. Whenever there's an energy to it, whenever there's something that I'd like to share with you guys, I just come up with this. So there's no sequence to it. It's not like it's done every week or every month. It just shows up when it shows up. And yeah, so we just continue with that. These calls are really, really contributive because there's so much of, the stuck energy that most of us are going through that sometimes when I'm dealing with certain things or when I come across a friend or somebody else dealing with that, or maybe a client or a participant, class participant, sometimes it's interesting. Like you'd like to share it with people, and that whatever awareness shows up, we I create these series so that it can contribute to each one of you. Now, so today we'll be talking about the topic is your attitude determines your altitude. Now, this is also in relation to a lot of times when we are looking at creating things and things are not showing up that dynamically. We find ourselves just stopping things. There are, say, for example, there's a particular financial reality that you'd like to create, or there is a place where you'd really like to step up with respect to your work or anything else. But sometimes you realize, you find yourself just, you're not able to create all that you'd like to create. And then you wonder what just happened, what went wrong. So a lot, like at least 80% of what's showing up in your world is created by what is your internal thinking. All those places, what is your attitude? What is it that, what are the different points of view that are keeping you stuck? And most often than not, those are a lot of subconscious points of view that just really, really keep you stuck. So today we'll be addressing a few of that, few of those, and we'll be talking a little bit about your financial reality. If there's something that you're looking to create, and what is that funk? What is it that's creating a huge funk in your world? So we'll be talking about that. But before we get started, welcome everyone, all of you. I'm just so grateful each one of you are here on this call with me today. And does anyone have any questions, anything? And I'll just take on your questions and then I'll see if I can address them in this call. And otherwise, and anyways, I have a lot of information to share with you guys. So anyone, anything going on for you guys? Anyone have a question? You can just unmute and speak. What is it that you find yourself stuck with?
Okay, I would like to, I mean, you are going in that direction. And I also, what I wanted to ask about is that when you're looking to start something, the capital to invest, because a lot of times things require capital, right? So I am somewhere kind of stuck with the capital that I require to invest in the things that I desire to start. And yeah, if you can include that, that is something that I really like some help with.
Awesome. Anything else? Anyone? None of you have a question? Let me just see what else I'm sorry, I have to keep clearing my throat because I just start getting a lot of awareness and every time I'm on these calls. So sorry about that. All right, so let's talk about financial reality and what exactly we are creating with our points of view and what is it that we find ourselves stuck with. So if you have an awareness of what your current financial reality is and what it is that you desire, like in your life and living to be, you have to be, first of all, very, very committed to creating that. Most of us are not able to choose what we'd like because we're not committed enough to creating it. So we are more committed to the reasons why we can't create. Okay. So we start focusing on all the issues that will come up or all the problems that might come up, and that does not really contribute. You're not going in the direction of creating. And so if you're worried or you're trying to figure out the hows and whys of how you will manage that, the universe starts responding to that vibration that you're being, and that does not really create. Okay. So most people, whether they realize or not, actually have a definition of what creating their own financial reality is. Okay, and most of them don't even realize that it is this definition that they have, which is what is actually hindering their financial success. Okay, so when you start becoming aware of those definitions, then you realize that there are those definitions as well as a whole lot of other components which are contributing to creating your financial reality the way it is showing up currently for you. Okay, so when you become aware of something that is not working for you, how do you become aware of that? You start asking lots of questions, start becoming more aware, something or the other. Where every time you'll ask a question, there's an awareness that will show up. Then there is 4 things that you use to create, right? Question, choice, possibilities, and contribution. So every time you're asking a question, there are different choices and awarenesses that shows up. And then every time you make a choice, that choice opens up certain possibilities for you. And every time you choose that possibility, you are able to receive the contribution of that choice. Okay. Now, when you're asking questions, when you choose to be asked to be more aware of, okay, truth, what exactly is going on here? What is it that's keeping me stuck? Why are things not showing up for me? Why will be where you're trying to understand? So that's not really a question, but what is it that that is limiting this creation? So when you start becoming aware, this will start creating a space where you can actually start making choices, choosing what changes those things that are blocking for you, and especially if you're not very happy with the way your current financial reality is. Now, look at this moment, each one of you, be very, very present and look at what your current financial reality is, or what kind of financial reality you would really, really like. So, so if you want something to change, what needs to change here? Okay. So, and if you do have an idea of what you would really like your financial reality to look like, have you also examined where this desire came from? So are you choosing it because you truly desire this, or are you choosing it because maybe that idea belongs to somebody else and you're seeing other people create a particular kind of financial reality, and that's the reason why you're choosing it? So if you're trying to mimic somebody or be somebody else, that might not contribute, right? So what is your current financial reality? What is it that you truly, truly desire? First, be really, really vulnerable and really present with what's going on for you, okay? And from that awareness and from that space, ask for what it is that you'd like to create. A very good question to ask is, what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to have too much money and never enough to spend? And everything that doesn't allow that will not destroy and uncreate it all, right from good, bad, unnatural boys, boys, and youngs. Because frankly, nobody really needs to have a problem with money. You can actually really create a different reality if you like. So the first step to do that is to be willing to change your points of view and come out of judgment with that. So ask, okay, cool, what is my financial reality? And what is it that you've been actually refusing to acknowledge, that if you did not refuse to acknowledge it, would create a totally different financial reality for you? So what are the points of view that you have about what your financial reality is right now? What if you decided it is? What if you judged it to be? Just be very, very present to these questions, because when you be really, truly honest and vulnerable with you, and you're asking yourself these questions, what I'm trying to do is trying to make you more aware of where you're actually stuck, what you're actually stuck with, right? So what have you misidentified and misapplied your financial reality as? What have you judged it as? Um, you'll realize that sometimes when you're making certain choices in some areas of your life, those choices are much easier. It's a lot easier than your financial choices. Okay. So it could be something as easy as like driving a car, for example, right? It's easy. Or or something that you're really good at and it's no big deal. A lot of people are computer wizards. They just know what's going on and they just know how to sort out things. Like they're very good with technology and stuff. It just comes easily, right? So look at those areas in your life which come to you so easily. For some people, just communicating with people or interacting with people is just that there's just so much of ease, right? So look at all those places that you actually have a lot of ease with creation. And what if you can ask for that level of ease with your financial reality too? How much would that change? So also, what if creating a financial reality was something entirely different to what you've decided it is? What if it was more about committing to your life? What if it was more about committing to your future? Right? A lot of us ask for a lot of things to show up, and then we are like wondering why things are not showing up. I asked for it, it should be here now. But a lot of us are not even willing to take action to create it. So we are so focused on the self-doubt or self-judgments or seeing that others can actually have a lot of ease with those creations, but we can't. You need to also be very present to the points of view that are keeping you stuck with that. So what if every single choice that you make, every 10 seconds, what if that would give you another awareness of what you're creating? What is it that's going on? So how big are you making your life, or how small are you making your life, and what changes can you actually implement? Right? And most importantly, what if you defined as your financial reality? Because a lot of people get stuck with that. Okay, it's like you get stuck with the points of view that your parents have, or maybe your grandparents have. If they have a certain point of view about financial reality, about so basically you start mimicking their financial reality. And if they're not willing to have ease with those creations, sometimes you also stop those creations. What we also need to realize is anytime we find ourselves mimicking our parents' financial reality or grandparents or people around us, or people from that generation, let's take that for example. Um, that generation has seen wars, okay, World War One, two, whatever. And so there's the space of uncertainty. There's a space of lack. There's a space of it'll all be taken away. There's a space of no, everything needs to be saved. And there's a space of not enough, right? So there's this uncertainty about their present as well as future. So that's why that's the reason those points of view show up in their financial reality and the way they've been creating their financial reality. But this generation and the future generations don't really have that, right? So what are you aware of? And if you were truly creating your life and your future reality or financial reality, sorry, what would you choose? What are you aware of? What invitation can you be to invite others to more possibilities? What are you aware of? Start choosing that. And frankly, anytime you're making a choice, your level of commitment to that choice is what starts actualizing it. It's not like, oh, today I'm committing to having a great financial reality, and by tomorrow you've already forgotten. And by the third day, you have a conversation with a friend who's going through a major funk with their finances, and then you also get looped into that. And then you completely forget about the financial reality, the creation of the financial reality that you had chosen for yourself. So you see, you have to be very present to your attitude. What exactly is going on? What are you, where are you functioning from? Like, are you constantly functioning from fear? Are you constantly functioning from lack? Are you constantly functioning from how is this even possible? Or are you constantly functioning from a very linear way of creation? Because when anytime you're getting caught up with that, you are creating your life as a smallest postage stamp sized life, right? Somewhere where you've decided that you can't even outcreate it. A lot of times, we just get so caught up with other people's issues and what's going on in the world that we lose sight of what we are aware of. So, what is the truth of you? What is it that you're so dynamically aware of? And what's the value of losing yourself because somebody else does not believe in you? You know, a lot of times, mostly when we share ideas with people and we speak about certain things, and or we also are interacting with certain people, and they will just give us those looks like, you know, you can't create, or they will project a certain judgment onto you. And the first thing each one of us does is to get rid of those judgments. We just sort of block or stop all our creations. So people judge you to stop you. And the sooner you realize it, the easier your life will start getting, the easier your financial reality will start getting. So just be very present with that. Now, Anandita, what was the question you had asked? Can you just ask that again?
Yes, Smriti, my question was about whenever I mean, right now, what I'm looking at creating, I require investment. Okay. So I don't have the capital to invest. And that was like kind of the thing that I'm even stopping myself from creating that, because I'm like, okay, where is the money coming from? So
what needs to change?
one thing, of course, like the people I have been surrounded by, especially my family, who would always look at the impossibilities rather than the possibilities. So one, as you were talking, I was like, yeah, I mean, whether what I have been picking up has even been mine, or it is something that I've seen, happen around me all my life. And I could start asking, like, who would be willing to invest? It's not necessary that I have that money. So yeah, that question opened up just as you were
Yeah,
talking.
so who are the people you can, or which companies can you actually connect with who will be willing to sponsor this for you?
Yes.
Or be willing to invest in your creations, and what and you can also talk to the creations,
Yes.
what it is that you're looking to create. Connect to that and say, what needs to change here? Who can I connect with? What is required here? And what needs to change? And just start stepping into that.
Yeah.
That's what starts opening up more possibilities. Ask questions, look at that, get the energy of that creation that has consciousness of its own. Ask it to find the investors, right? And also, sometimes we keep waiting for everything to be perfect before we can launch it. So, what if you can just start building
Yeah.
steps? Start taking little baby steps towards it.
Yes,
Start,
that I already have. That I
yeah,
have.
start announcing certain things, start implementing certain things, and just keep adding more. And then,
Yes.
end of the day, it's your choice to actualize, and um, how soon you want it
Mm.
depends on the moment you let go of those judgments that are, or those stuck points of view that are limiting you'll actualize it maybe tomorrow itself.
Yeah.
Right? We only start holding ourselves back. Like, it can't be that easy. Why
Yeah.
would anybody want to invest? So let go. Stop seeking perfection also, because that may not show up. that might stop things from showing up as dynamically. Just get moving because, so let me quote an example of one of our friends, which you all know, most of you know. They opened a restaurant in Mexico. Now, they didn't have a lot of things in place. They didn't even have the staff. Okay. But they launched the restaurant and they kept on choosing, they kept on creating, and they were working through it, and it just started building up. A lot of people now know about that Indian restaurant there, and a lot of people visit that place, but they literally did not have staff. They hired people who were stealing things, who were messing up things. They let go of all of them, and they were doing everything by themselves. And now it has started, it's much more established, and they've added newer things to it, and it started taking shape slowly, right? It's just the thing of getting started, because you know what? The moment you get started, now you're committed to it. As long as you keep deferring the start, it's like, okay, tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe after 5 months. So you just keep pushing that creation 5 to 6 months ahead. But now that you're in the middle of it, you have no choice but to be so dynamically committed to creating it that you go all out to actualize it. Okay. Also, when we really, really want something, so each one of us, if we have to go on a, say, a trip, or there is something that you really, really want, how many of you, even if you don't have the money at that moment, you just go all out and create it? You actualize that kind of money some way or the other, and you make that happen. Especially if it's like a trip with your friends, if you're traveling, or there's some classes that you need to attend, or whatever it is, like something that you really, really desire, you actualize it, right? So what if you could actually be present with how badly you want that creation to show up, and just go ahead and actualize it? The money just shows up. Your choice is what starts creating things. Cool. Does anyone else have any questions? No. Come on, guys. I'm sure some of you have some questions. No? Yeah, go ahead, Ritu.
So very interestingly, when you just brought up that you might be mimicking somebody's point of view, that's why you're stopping your creation or limiting yourself. I have been in this question, what is stopping me from creating more?
Yeah.
And I realized the point of view which is stopping me from creating more is actually my father's point of view. And I have never thought of it in my wildest of dreams that that issue, that point of view was so strong in my world, and it was stopping me so much that I would say 90% of my creation was being stopped because of that.
So everywhere you've been creating a financial reality based on mimicking other people, especially your family members or people around you. Will you not just try and uncreate that, please?
Yes.
I will not go ahead with the, this has to be followed by the clearing statement.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So do you have any question, any other question, Ritu?
Yeah. So in the financial reality, I the question which I have is, there are a lot of times when we fear or are resistance to pay taxes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because as we know, we are put in slabs according to the taxation things. And
right.
You don't want to be put in slabs.
Okay.
Yeah. At least my point of view, I don't want to be put in slabs. I just want to create. But that slab kind of limits me. That's what I feel.
How does it limit you?
It's at the back of my mind for some reason. I don't know. then it's at the back of my mind that, oh, if I create this much of taxation will have to be paid. You understand?
So,
So it's very subconscious,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
So this
coming
is,
to the forefront, and I choose to change it because
so
that's limiting me.
this is part of the Business Done Different class, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. And there's a whole topic on taxation there. And
Yeah.
my question to you is, I just have two questions. One, every time you are, so where are you choosing to keep yourself under the radar and choosing to create only a limited amount of money so that you're always just under the radar and not get to pay too much of taxes? One is that. And the second is, where are you not willing to be the top 1% of the population of the highest taxpayers in your country? Right? Because when you choose to be the top 1% taxpayer of your country, imagine how much more you'll also be making. So when you're resisting from paying taxes, look at the amount of, look at how small you're keeping your creations and your money flows. And what is that creating for you? So because you don't want to pay certain amount of tax, I'll create only less than 20 lakhs a year. That's not going to create. What if you were willing to create 20 lakhs a month? What possibilities would that open up for you? This is just an example. Like you can actually choose much more than 20 lakhs a month. But when you start seeing that as a possibility, that is now an invitation for you to start creating. A lot of times, most of us are not even creating because our ask is not big enough to motivate us.
So, actually, I would say that you ask for a bigger thing, but then something pulls you back. And I think so. What pulls me back is this.
Right. So look, so now that you're aware, you have a choice to change it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Because look at the amount you're limiting your money flows because you don't want to pay taxes. And what would paying taxes create for you and open up for you? Look at the amount you can actually allow to show up in your world. So much more.
Yeah. So it's like, it's actually churning in my body. I can actually feel it churning in my body that, you need to change this. It's like literally like
also, again, who are you mimicking? Whichever, like they're working with some companies and stuff, vis-a-vis owning your own business. But when you come from that kind of a background, so you are a little uncomfortable with paying a huge amount of tax. But when you are in business, then also you're like trying to save money, so you would rather take money in cash and all that stuff. But what is that creating for you? You're always choosing to be under the radar, and so that so that you don't get noticed, right? And how much are you limiting all of your creations here? So, like for example, if this is a product that I've designed, okay, I've put in a lot of effort to design this product, and I'm just so excited about it. I'm so happy with this. I'm talking to each one of you with your creations and how much you're keeping yourself hidden with that. So this is a product that you've created and you've put in a lot of efforts, and you don't want someone to judge it. You don't want anyone to say, this is bad, and or this is not enough. So what you'll do is, when you become aware that certain people will judge you, you will hide it from those people. So you will allow only certain people to see it, but most people shouldn't be able to see it because you don't want to open up this product for judgments. So, and then you're wondering, why aren't people buying my product? Especially like if you've written a book, right? You don't want to be judged, so you will make sure not many people are aware of that book.
Yeah.
Once you've made something, once you've created something, that creation has consciousness of its own, it has a life force of its own. Allow it to go out and be out in the world, because that will start contributing. So Anandita, also with the creations that you have in mind and the investors that you're looking for, what if you actually destroyed and created all the judgments that you have about those product that you want to create, right? Yeah. So that, and allow those investors to become aware of this product and be willing to invest in it.
Yeah, when you were talking to Ritu about it, I was just thinking that how much am I controlling what I'm putting out into the world, because I don't desire to be judged, and I don't desire to fail as well. You know, the whole thing with investors is that if I have investors, in that case, I have to succeed, and how much I'm keeping a back door open, that in case I fail, and if it's my money or my family money, then in that case, you know, whatever, I can fail. But yeah.
And also failure is just something that did not show up as you had envisioned it. That's all. That's all that is.
Correct. Correct.
And failure isn't a failure till you decide it is.
Yeah, it's so funny, Smriti. You know, these are the things which are like we know, but it's only when we come to these calls and we kind of, you know, talk in these calls and these classes, the amount of clarity that emerges, and especially in the classes. Last week only we were in the business and money this thing, and the call which you did up before that was phenomenal, but then the class itself gave so much clarity, and I'm really excited about, you know, the upcoming Business Done Different class. This is just so great.
I'm so excited about that too. We just fixed the venue today, and I'm just so excited about that. This class will be in South Mumbai, in case any one of you are looking to join. It's from 14th to 16th of December. And yeah, how does it get any better?
And online too. It'll be available online.
Yeah, it's available online too. So yes, how does it get any better? And you can connect with Rashi or Anandita if you need more details. And maybe we can even post the link here. So what I've been talking about right now is just 1% of what the class is all about. There's so much more. There's a manual with clearings and stuff. And also there's also Fast Track Your Business. It's a business mentorship that I'm starting from 1st of Jan. So you start your year with a bang. It's more like a booster dose every week, where whoever are part of the call, I will not let them rest till they have things sorted in their life, till they have started creating things. It's like I will be there pushing you off the cliff every single week after week after week. There's just no way I want to let you guys rest. So that if the energy of that calls out to you, you can just look up the details on smritigoswami.com. The whole thing is given over there. And maybe sometime during this call, if I can actually show you that's also, I'll just see if I can share the screen and let you know. It's just that when I share the screen, I'm not audible enough. So maybe I can just help you just go through that. And yeah, I'll come back to that later. So Navnita.
Hi, Smriti. It's my first time I'm attending your call, and I must say you're incredible. Love your energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just a quick one. So I've been with the corporate for over 15 years. It's been an amazing journey. But last year, for family reasons, I quit. And financially hasn't been a great year, but I've been in question what's right about that. And I've been now applying and going for interviews and all of that. So Smriti, my question is, I do create money at the NFR. And I mean, majority of the time they are into debts, like, you know, from friends and family who I have to pay back, which I'm happy to, of course. My question is, what questions can I ask? Like, I made a deliberate choice now of not going for any more debts. I acknowledge my potency of creating money, but I'd like to create money and, you know, and then it's my money, not just, you know, paying back and accumulate and paying off debts. That's not fun. I mean, that's really not fun. So what questions can I ask that would, yeah, that would generate more money.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So first of all, anytime, so if you guys haven't read the book Getting Out of Debt Joyfully, that's the amazing book to start with.
Yes, indeed,
It's just loaded with a lot of information. And of course, there is a class on that too. Now coming back to this, anytime you owe people money, it's not a fun energy to earn money and keep paying back. Okay. So because it's not fun to pay off people, you stop your creations. So you stop earning also. Because if you once you don't have money, how will you pay off? Right? So that's where you get caught up in that cycle. Because you know that whatever you earn will end up, you have to pay off people. So you stop and limit your creations, because what you're resisting most is the feeling when all your hard-earned money is going back to pay
correct.
off.
Wow, yes, actually,
Right?
yes.
So where are you not willing to create so much more? Where are you choosing to create only just enough to pay off people and just have enough to sustain yourself? See, we are only setting up those ceilings for ourselves. There was this there was this experiment that was conducted a few years ago, which was where they took a glass jar and they put all jumping flying fleas in that, and they left it overnight with a lid on top. So all those fleas would jump right up to the top, and they would hit the lid and they would fall back. So they learned to jump only as high as the lid. Right? Next day, when they removed the lid, those fleas would not jump out because they had learned that this was their ceiling or their glass ceiling, right? So whereas each one of you set up glass ceilings for yourself with the amount that you can actually start creating, we are only the ones setting our limits, right? We are busy comparing ourselves with the rest of the people that we are surrounded with. And we see what is their reality with money. And then we are looking at only just being at that level or slightly above that. And what's the value of creating those glass ceilings for ourselves? Okay. So what's the personal glass ceiling that you've set that if you didn't have it would create an entirely different reality for you?
Wow.
Okay. And so you have to, if you have to change the point of view around money, you have to change the limitations that you have created of your reality. So what needs to change here? Also, if you've read the book, there is a lot of information on how you can actually start paying. What mostly happens is when we are in debt, we stop living our life and we feel guilty for living our life because we now owe people money, right? So what if you can actually connect with them and say, hey, I'm going to start paying you this much amount every month. Have a reasonable amount. Don't like pay peanuts. Like just have a set amount. So just divide the amount you have to pay by, if it's not a very big amount, divide it by 12, like 12 months, and be willing to pay off that much amount every month. So suppose you're creating a certain amount. So pay off maybe 20 or 30% of what you're earning to them. And that way you don't get to stop your life in living. And once you are enthusiastic about that, about creating a greater life, paying off those people is no big deal. And also another thing that I usually ask is, especially when it comes to paying off taxes and debts and stuff, is like, what if those taxes and debts are just 1% of what I earn?
Wow. Wow, that was very light. Wow.
So
Yes.
even when I'm choosing to attend classes, and some of the classes are expensive, but they are really absolutely worth it.
Absolutely.
I ask for the same thing. What if paying for these classes are just 1% of what I make each month?
I'll have that. Thank you.
So when you ask, basically don't stop or limit what you can be choosing. Just ask for more to show up and be willing to choose it and be willing to be committed enough to creating it. So
Awesome.
everything that brought up for each one of us, let's destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes, please.
Right from good, bad, good, college,
and Anindita's questions really contributed, because on one hand, when I'm applying for corporate jobs, I'm going for interviews and they're going well, but my heart lies with music. And maybe somebody put a point of view that, okay, you know what, carry on with your corporate life. You can always create your music career simultaneously, but each time I ask myself, I feel more drawn towards it. So I'm going to ask my creation, the music itself, to contribute and see what shows up. Who knows which investor shows up?
And also, a lot of times, most of us, when we are making a choice, we feel we need to give up on one choice to be able to do something else. What if you can actually have it all? Like, have all the platter full of all possible creations. What if you do not have to let go of something to be able to choose something else? Right? Including, a lot of people give up on their relationships because now they're looking at choosing greater in life for themselves. So they feel that relationship is what is stopping us. What if you can actually have both? Like, this is just an example, but otherwise also, people think, oh, if I'm choosing this, then I need to let go of these habits, and or these are the, I should stop shopping, or I should not spend so much on my clothes, or I should stop eating outside, going to different restaurants, because I need to save money to be able to choose this. What if you can actually do everything, have it all? What if you did not have to let go of any choice? When you start choosing everything possible, right? I'm here to live my life, and I'm going to choose each and everything that contributes to me. Whatever it takes, I'm committed to creating that. That's when you set the ball rolling. And when you don't stop choosing, in spite of, and you don't give up, in spite of everything that's all the possible challenges, that's when the universe starts contributing to you. Like, my most favorite quote is, the universe always, always, always falls in love with a stubborn heart who chooses not to give up. So how stubborn are you willing to be with your choices? And just go and choose. Don't let anything or anybody stop you.
Thank you, Smriti. Loved it. God bless. Thank you.
So we just take the last question. That is Deepa's question, and then we're done with the call. Deepa?
Yeah, Smriti, so I didn't have a question. What I wanted to share was, see, when I was a child, the tax slabs were so high that my father didn't believe in paying taxes, and he would get like loads and loads of money. And literally, like how Gary says, we would tie those packets, and I would actually roll in money and smell the money and all. So now the thing is that my son has not seen cash at all, because everything is digital and we pay taxes, so everything is by check and all. So now the question is, who's right and who's wrong? Like, my father didn't have a point of view.
Hold on. What are you aware of, and what would you like to create? What if any choice that you make is not from the rightness or the wrongness of any point?
I would like to have both. I would like to have lots of cash also and pay tax also. Because, that whole feeling of holding cash in your hand, it gives you a different high, man. Gives you a different high.
I just recently was conducting a foundation class, and we had a conversation with a person who's an architect. And he just said that sometimes when they are designing houses for people, when they are making all those buildings, and some of them have these certain rooms which are these are the secret rooms, and those rooms are just full of cash, because for whatever reasons it's just full of cash, and nobody knows where those rooms are. It's just part of the walls, and you just cannot figure out. And basically, the awareness that I got with that conversation was, people are really willing to create a lot of money. They're loaded, okay? And I was like, okay, where are we not willing to even choose or have that as our reality? That conversation really, really widened my horizons, where I said, okay, this much amount should be good enough, but people are actually playing around in thousands of crores, right? So everything that doesn't allow each one of us to create that with total ease and at the speed of space. Let's destroy and uncreate that.
Yes.
Boys, boys and girls. That's why I said, what if your ask could be how big can your asks be to motivate you enough to actualize it with total ease? Cool. So I will leave you guys on this note, and with this question: how big can your ask be? And I'll see you soon again and hopefully for one of my classes or for the business mentorship or with sometime again on any of these calls. So thank you so much, guys. And
Thank you. And can I add something to all the people in the house? So I've done BDD with Smriti multiple times. It's amazing class, and I have enrolled for fast track again second time. As I would like to create greater. So guys, if you wish to create greater, then only do the classes. Otherwise, don't. Be where you are. We will make all the money, and you watch us grow in life.
thank you so much. Thanks for sharing that, Deepa.
I'll
Thank
put
you.
the links on the chat.
Yeah. Kashi, you want to add something?
So I've just put all the details for the BDD class, which is from 14 to 16, and even for the whole mentor program, which starts in Jan. The links have been put up, guys.
And you have our numbers in case you would like to
Yeah.
know. You can connect with Rashi or Nandita or me.
We are just a call away, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
I'm truly
Thanks,
grateful.
Pratik. This is just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.